Mosseri, the CEO of Instagram, says if you want to get more views on your pictures, not videos, pictures, use Carousel.
First in on today's episode of the podcast, I think we've got a few things to discuss in regards to news that has come out, two of them by way of Instagram at a Mosseri. And then really the third one is a really strong reminder on how algorithms work. Now, we're going to specifically go through TikTok, but I'm fairly certain, and I think you would agree with me, what we're going to go through is applicable to every platform pretty much.
I agree. And even though we're going over, what was that really nice one? Key factors driving the TikTok algorithm. All 5 of those, I think, are important everywhere, right? Even though Instagram highlighted one the last, 2 months ago, I think all 5 are important. Dude, let's start with the profile. Instagram sexified the sharing the profile. It looks kind of nice, man. It looks nice. I'm impressed. It looks sexy. Yeah. It looks sexy.
I mean, my opinion on this is when I first saw it, I got that that feeling that you get when you climb the rope in gym class, and then I went and looked at it and I was like, okay, this is cute. Is this another typical cute Instagram update that really has no relevance? And that's what I haven't figured out yet. So I don't want to rip it all the way yet, but I'm really not sure how useful this really is.
Yeah, I don't think it has any relevance yet, right? Unless, and I don't know if I've checked enough on it yet, but unless I can use it to share it where it has all of my contact info as well as my links. Because then at that point, it's like, hey, here's my contact info. I'm just sharing my Instagram link with everything that's important. But I didn't check if that was there or not. So
I think it's just a clean way to share your profile, which is nice, and it specifically states here, and this is a great reminder for everybody. Instagram says the new cards will help creators make connections with brands. Okay, so that is a great stark reminder that I talk about all the time of how we are so incredibly jaded on what success on social media means. Most of our listeners have no aspirations to connect with brands ever. They have an aspiration to sell another house, make another connection with a real estate agent, right? Make a connection with a consumer. We're not after brand deals. And so again, all this stuff, I wish Instagram would figure out at some point, stop talking to the creator, which is less than 1% of the population, and talk to everybody else. And I think this is a great example of that.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm taking a look at it now. It's kind of cool. 2 things. One, yeah, I agree with you, but they're never going to, because the people that drive the channels, including YouTube, are the creators. So, and that's what everyone aspires to be, because, we live in a world where we want to be like Mike. Do you remember the commercials? Do you like Mike?
Yeah, it's great. You're one of the greatest of all time. But do they? Do they? I mean, I agree. A 15 to 20-year-old who doesn't know what they want to do with their life aspires. Yep. A 47-year-old who has gray hair and their beard like a motherfucker, that they don't aspire for that.
That's true. But then they also have to take a look at those accounts that have performed well in their field, if they're looking at it as a business like we are, and they'll be like, oh, you know what? This is a great example of what good or great looks like in my field. I can emulate or at least be inspired by it. So I see what they're saying, but I also get your point, dude. I'm in the middle on this one.
So do me a favor. I just texted you mine. Text me yours, and let me just see what happens when I click on it, because there is a potential use for sharing it with consumers if somebody actually does that. And I think that is probably the biggest point to make here. Mm-hmm. If this is not something that you do as a real estate agent, you should. You should gauge your customer. Again, if they're 75 years old, sharing your Instagram profile probably is not going to enhance the experience for them. But if you are working with a 30-year-old consumer who's looking to buy a house and you share your Instagram profile with them, they might be like, oh, that was different. No other realtor's done that before. This is cool. And then they go down the rabbit hole, assuming you've been creating content. So again, know your customer and then decide when you're going to use it. Because I bet, Tristan, not a lot of people do.
That's true. You know,
yours, it is cool. It's sexy.
Yeah, but hold on. So I did this on Friday when I was speaking in Santa Cruz, and I had somebody send it to me that was on stage with me. I wasn't their friend. If you're not their friend, what happens is it shows the profile on both sides, right? And one of the things, click on yours because that's the only way you can see it. Click on yours, and when you double click it, then it shows the things you and I have been talking about for years, which is organize your profile so people understand what you do quickly. And you see the little emojis, you see what it says. I think that's
what I see when I click on yours.
Oh,
it shows me this.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So yours shows me the exact same thing, which I love, dude.
And then when you click it, it flips
to the that's right.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know that it has any usefulness.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a vanity update, and it doesn't really matter that much.
Agreed. Okay. All right, next. Mosseri, the CEO of Instagram, says if you want to get more views on your pictures, not videos, pictures, use Carousel. Use Carousel. People can scroll. They'll stay longer. They'll engage more. That's just what their data is showing. And obviously, some of the carousels can have videos in between, which is great. I tested this out on Friday night. I was like, yeah, I'll test this out. It's been a while since I did a carousel. And shit, mine performed well, but I think it was more the content than that the fact that it was a complete carousel. But
I'm a fan of carousels. We do one a week in our content spreadsheet. I don't personally post them. So admittedly, I take a carousel and I make it a video. So I just incorporate elements and I take the images like you've probably seen where I did like the top 10 things you shouldn't put on your garbage disposal. And then I'll use the graphics and then I'll integrate Winter, like holding up the eggshell that you shouldn't throw it out. So I'm a video guy, right? I think videos perform better. But if I was to post, static, I think people like when they see, and especially, Tristan, I think it's important when you do the carousel, make sure they know on that first slide, like there's an arrow.
Yeah.
That's eye grab. It's eye catching. And people know, okay. And then when I scroll once, that's all they got to do. And then you just keep them going, but make it like you're almost like you're telling a story.
Good point. You are telling a story. Good point on the arrow. You're right. Without that, it's not going to matter.
They think it's just an image. They may not know. Yeah. You've got to guide them basically.
Agreed. All right. Let's go into the good stuff here, which I think applies to everything, just like you said. There's a graphic by Giraffe Social, and it's titled How the TikTok Algorithm Works, a visual guide to maximizing engagement. Starts off with some stats. Those are great, but there are a couple of things that we want to take a look at. For us, it's the key factors driving the TikTok algorithm. And Jeff, it's not a surprise, right? It's the same 5 things that everybody focuses on. But the thing I was waiting...
Before we go there, though, I think we should share the why TikTok matters for anybody who's still not there. You need to hear these.
We have people that don't believe in TikTok still?
Yeah.
Wait, are you serious? I was joking.
No, yes. I hear people that nobody says, 2 years ago, people were like, no, absolutely not. Now people just say, oh, I still haven't done that yet. Like it's more of a, ooh, yeah, I think I do know I need to be there, but, kind of thing. But I think it's important to know this data. And so let's go over the why TikTok matters data first.
Dude, go.
TikTok has 1 billion plus active users. No big deal. Well, that is a big deal, but it is what it is. Users spend 95 minutes per day on average. 95 minutes. Do the math. That's over an hour and a half. TikTok has, this is important, over 150% higher engagement rate than Instagram, and I can vouch for that. It does. 90%, this is big, 90% of TikTok users, that's you and me, Tristan, visit the app daily. Also guilty. I'm in the 90%.
Yeah.
70% of users say TikTok content helps them discover new products or brands. That's important. As no matter what your business is, people are using and searching TikTok. I've heard this from people. Like my daughters say this. Like my daughter's had a 21st birthday. I said, where do you want to go out on your 21st birthday? I don't know. Let me go to TikTok and let me go see what's out there.
Oh, wow.
They don't say Google anymore. They say that. I'm not kidding. Like that's exactly what she said. And she just probably typed in,
Things to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And then videos with trending audio have a 1.5 times greater chance of getting onto the For You page. I don't know if I care as much about that one, but it just tells you that trending audio still could have an impact on a video. I have disproved that because, Tristan, I don't put music to any of my talking head videos anymore, but I do put it on my other videos.
What if you did put music? You should A/B test it.
I have tested it. It doesn't matter. Like I used to do it thinking that if I put a trending sound and just turn it all the way down, at least I'm using the trending sound. It doesn't matter. Like it's the content that really matters. And it doesn't matter how long you talk. If the content is strong, if the topic is strong, people are interested. Like I did a news last week about they're moving the location of the shootout. That was big news. I talked about it, gave my opinion. It's got 30-something thousand views and thousands of shares. And it's just, and I knew it would, and it didn't matter what, I could have literally probably been sitting on the toilet taking a shit. That one would have performed well. It's more of recognizing the opportunity that exists when that kind of stuff happens and then jumping on it.
By the way, we have to take a moment to say hi to Brian. What's up, Brian?
Hi, Brian.
All right. One stat that's not here, which is surprising, I guess, because it's like the world. But in the U.S., it matters to us. There's 170 million Americans on TikTok. Okay. And I think that's important, right? Look at our population. So, all right. Let's go into key factors driving the TikTok algorithm. Instagram announced 2 months ago that the important thing for them is shares above everything else. Now, this isn't from TikTok officially. This is just a company looking into seeing what matters. So according to this company, they've broken it down to the 5 things that we all know matter: likes and comments, shares and follows, and watch time. I think here's one: videos watched all the way through rank higher. On average, videos retaining 70% of viewers are greatly boosted. So that would be a target if I wanted to focus on watch time. Make my video interesting, shorter, or interesting and shorter, right?
Yeah.
That would definitely increase my chances of getting a viral video, 100%. Right? So I like that. Super easy, nothing new. I wanted to go into creating higher quality content. We've talked about that. The breakdown. Where's the breakdown? The For You page breakdown. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is what Jeff just showed me, which I thought was pretty amazing. It simplifies the process for you so you can see how you can get your videos to be seen by more people on TikTok. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps. Oh, thanks for doing that, buddy. Let's go over it. First, the videos posted, which is great. I think most of you, the ones that are posting, are doing this. Step 1. Amazing. It goes for the initial push. And I think the initial push, and they don't add it here, but the initial push is just for either people that it's a certain amount of people that are following you and a certain amount of people that the algorithm thinks will like your video. So for example, Jeff with the Ozarks, it's blasting it out to people around the area because it already knows what type of video he posts, and then his followers. Next, it pushes it to viewers, a bigger chunk of viewers if those viewers already start looking at it and engaging with it. And then it evaluates it apparently. And it says performance rating, watch time, shares, comments, likes. This is where it comes into play. Dude, Jeff, I have a question for you. Remember, this is not TikTok saying this. But what do you think? If we're looking at TikTok, by TikTok, what do you think they favor the most out of the 5 things? You know, Instagram said, hey, we favor the shares. What do you think TikTok favors the most? Out of those 5 right there, yeah.
I'd say watch time.
You say watch time?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's my guess. Yeah. But honestly, I think TikTok's algorithm is so intuitive. I think it's probably a blend, to be honest. I think that likes and comments, I think, are probably the lowest on the totem pole. But I mean, honestly, they matter, you know? As I talk about it, they're all super important. But if I had to guess, I think watch time is a metric that's really important for the algorithm.
I think it's watch time at the top, because YouTube does the same thing, right? Watch time at the top, and then I think it's shares.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen some of my videos that have blown up. They have very few comments. They have some likes, but they have a shit ton of shares, and they have a lot of watch time.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. All right, let's go back down to that awesome flow chart. So now if it catches on, it's like, hey, the performance rating, it's great. We got a lot of watch time. Then there's a ratio rating, which Jeff just brought up. It's like, hey, what's the balance between all of these, right? And then it says good performance gets continually pushed. So that means it goes back to more viewers. It goes in a little circle and it keeps growing and it keeps growing. Poor performance, which is very familiar to all of us, poor performance sees posts dropped from the algorithm. That means it'll just not show up again. And then one more time, final push to viewers. And that, I think, there's a gap there, because I've seen some of my videos get pushed a week, 2 weeks later, and all of a sudden they start picking up more. So that's an interesting thing. How long do you think that gap is on the final push to viewers after you had poor performance the first time?
Quickly.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, I think if it's a poor performing video out of the gate, it's buried quickly. I think if you get good performance, it definitely hangs around longer than it did on the initial go. But I mean, I'm sure you've noticed this. When things drop off, they drop off rapidly.
Yeah, that's true. I never get
it hits a wall. It hits a wall.
I have one right now that hit a wall. Well, not just one. I got a few.
Well, most of them hit a wall before they even get started. Let's just be honest. And that's all of us. I mean, that's what keeps people from doing this consistently, because it's mentally, it just beats them up when their content doesn't perform, rather than just saying, okay, next, okay, next, okay, next.
Yeah.
And I think, and then honestly, Tristan, I think it's a combination of things. Then people get so consumed with a well-performing video that they probably check their Facebook, Instagram, TikTok like 74,000 times a day when something's performing well. And you know what? You should be happy for yourself. But I think, to me, Tristan, I think one of probably the most underrated topics as it relates to social media that we should be talking about more is just simple discipline. Like, you know how the gym or the workout industry has just exploded over the last 10 years, and really because of social media. And what is probably the most talked about principle as it relates to building a healthy lifestyle? Discipline, right? It's the same concept. And so it's like, I don't know why everybody talks about, do this in your video, do that to your video. You'll learn this editing skill, talk about this, but nobody's talking about the discipline of not getting down on yourself when something doesn't perform well, or the discipline to not get so consumed with a high performing post that it chews up 2 days. Like, I've been there. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Literally, it's like, fuck, I just wasted 2 days constantly checking. And it's like, I need to have the discipline to just go in 15 minutes at 5 o'clock. Don't do it throughout you know what I mean? And those are the things I think that are so incredibly important that we need to talk about it more.
That's very true. Very true, man. And then on that, the opposite, which is your video performed extremely well. And then you're like, well, I don't want to post another video for the other video to take its place, right? It's almost like you have a problem with yourself, where it's like, wait, I don't want to outperform myself here.
Yeah,
we've seen that too, on both ends. Isn't that crazy? On both ends, it's like, oh, my videos are shit, I'm not going to post anymore. Oh, this video is so good, I'm not going to post for a while.
Yeah,
very interesting. I didn't think about that until you just told me. All right, well, that's all I've got.
Yeah, it's a good reminder. Good. I think this is the kind of thing that needs to be talked about fairly frequently. Oh, the last thing I will say too is their final tips for success that it says on here is, number one is engage with your audience. Like, that should be 101. If you spend all of this time to create consistent content and you're not regularly engaging, like, you're literally leaving opportunity on the table. The other whole analyze and adapt, optimizing thumbnails and collaborating with other creators are kind of all next level. I think you got to literally stay up. You got to build the consistency, consistently engage with your audience, build that cadence, that rhythm, and then take it to the next level of all the other things.
Agreed. Love this one. Thanks for joining, everybody.